Welcome to Making Success Inevitable. It's your boy Sai here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about, is this the best ever Liverpool squad? Let's find out. So let me start off by saying, it's not easy being a Liverpool, in fact a football fan in Japan, because obviously with the time zones, 3 PM kickoffs are at midnight, anything beyond that, we're going into the early mornings. Being a Liverpool fan in rural Miyazaki Japan isn't easy. We can only get official merchandise through the Eskamo partnership side. Limited range, inflated prices, is what it is. That's why I asked my parents to send me merch from the UK. And they sent it my way via box, emergency goodies box with paracetamol, Lemsip, hay fever medicine, the works. Wish I could send a doner kebab. But at least I can lay claim to being the most passionate Liverpool and football fan in Japan. And also, if not, at least the most knowledgeable, right? Let's put it to the test. Jurgen Klopp has come out today and said this is the strongest Liverpool squad he's ever had. And if you think of all the good players in the squads, the Champions League winning squad, the Premier League winning squad, who are you to disagree with Klopp, who is one of the top 2 managers in the world alongside Guardiola? But the thing that makes Klopp special is he really embodies Liverpool's passion. He understands the ethos, the club, the ethics, everything behind him, and he isn't bankrolled ad infinitum like Guardiola. Guardiola can sign 50 million fullbacks whenever he wants. This is the squad that Klopp has built over time. He inherited players like Benteke, Lucas Leiva, from the previous generations, and they were good servants to the club, but look what he's managed to do with the club. And if you look at it there, every single player here in the first 11 and possibly in the first 7 subs bench, they are wanted and in demand from every team. They could improve nearly every team in the globe. Thiago Alcantara, Bayern Munich, pulling the strings, the maestro. In previous seasons, you would never imagine having the pulling power, the playing ability, the playing squad to lure Thiago Alcantara to this squad. But his father, Mazinho, Thiago, his brother Rafinha, all of them made the decision together. Liverpool is where he wanted to continue his career, wanted to contribute, make an impact. This Liverpool team and squad, they go for every trophy every season now, and why not? They have the firepower, the squad, the legs, the energy, the tactics, the enthusiasm, the passion, the manager, the talent, the cohesiveness, the squad building, the teamwork, the leadership to win every trophy in the game, or at least attempt to, okay? That's why they're in for the quadruple at the moment. Long odds, Man City are still the favourites for the majority of the prizes. But why not? Why not believe? Go for it and see what you can do. We talked about leadership in this team, okay? What you may not know is Liverpool are famous for compiling captains and leaders. Van Dijk, Ranji, Dutch captain for the Netherlands. Alisson Becker as well, big influence in the Brazilian squad. Trent Alexander-Arnold, possibly future Liverpool captain. Naby Keita, Guinea captain. Mo Salah, Egyptian captain. Sadio Mane, I think he's vice captain. It might be Kalidou Koulibaly, who might be the captain. Minamino, most popular player in Japan, the #1 Japan player right now. I think he's vice captain behind Maya Yoshida, I think. Who else we got? Millie, Hendo, leading by example, leadership, talent, experience. Hendog. Maybe I'm missing someone. Who else am I missing? Andy Robertson, Scotland captain. And if you look at all the positions, world class, one of the top 3 in the world. Alisson, Oblak, maybe Edison. Mendy at Chelsea is decent. Trent, Robertson. Okay, you might argue Alphonso Davies versus Robertson, different type of players, both world class. Trent, Cancelo's having a great season. Maybe Reece James. But as a pairing, these fullbacks, any team in the world can benefit from these 2 fullbacks, I'm telling you. Combined together, top class, everyone would have Van Dijk in the team, bar none. All teams ever would take Van Dijk in their team. You could be talking about Baresi, Beckenbauer, you could talk about any of the world class centre-backs. Van Dijk is right up there with everyone. The holding player, the lighthouse, but multi-talented, multifaceted. It's not just a holding player. He's got a great shot on him. He can work his way out of trouble. He's always an option. He can drop in centre back. He's added goals to his game now that he's allowed to go forward. Salah. Enough said about Salah. The man, the best player in the world right now. You could argue Mbappe, Salah. You look at Lewandowski, Benzema, Messi and Ronaldo on the downward spiral. So, best player in the world. How many times in Liverpool's history can you say you had the best player in the world who should win the Ballon d'Or? world-class talent joining from a big team because he had the desire to play for Klopp and play for Liverpool. Best defender in the world, in my opinion. Best keeper in the world. Best fullbacks in the world. A front five who you would not, for a second, hesitate to put in your starting lineup. Luis Diaz, Firmino, Salah, Mane, Jota. Put any of the three on there. It's silky smooth, man. It's silky smooth. The midfield, you've got so many options in there as well. This squad, for me, is outstanding and brimming with talent. Even if they made no transfers in the summer, this squad would still have a great chance of winning everything next season. Obviously, you want fresh blood, you know, Rafinha, Jared Bowen. Look at some options in the midfield as well. Maybe Bellingham. But this squad here, what can you say? It just makes you proud to be a Liverpool fan, man. I mean, literally, this is a team and a manager you can really back. Forget the years of Roy Hodgson, the final years of Brendan Rodgers, you know, Benitez's downward spiral, and I love Benitez. Gerard Houlier's a spell when he was towards the end as well. This is a squad that you are amazingly lucky to see week in, week out, and sometimes even twice a week, because I think this golden generation, we can't take it for granted. There is outstanding talent, the personalities there are amazing, the kind of social channels that we get privileged to see, Robbo and Trent, we've already mentioned, but you've got stuff like cooking culture between Keita, Mane and Taki, you've got head tennis, you've got the rondos, you've got the charity work in hospitals, which Hendo leads the way on, captain's captain. This squad here, it's everything you want. You're just proud to be a Red. I mean, it's in your heart, it's in your blood. Something you want to tell your kids about as well. And Mushroom Boy definitely is enjoying his football at the moment. Now, Liverpool squads of the past have had amazing players and personnel. You're talking Ian Rush, Kenny Dalglish. You're talking Toshak and Keegan, best midfield in the world. Alonso, Gerrard, Mascherano, add Sissoko in there. Lucas Leiva. You know, a lot of quality players throughout the years. But this squad can pretty much fulfill every role that you can imagine in modern day football. Tactically versatile, skillful personnel, physical attributes, mentality giants, they have the lot. You don't have to put square pegs in round holes anymore. No Benayoun, Dirk Kuyt, Fabio Borini on the wing. No more relying on Jovanovic. A midfield combination of Poulsen and Spearing. Solid. You know, relying on your wonder kid David Ngo. Or the French gems Le Talek and Florent Cinema Pongo. Pongole. No more budget fullbacks like Dagan and I can't even remember his name. Konchesky. Konchesky. Oh my god, Konchesky. Yeah. Some Liverpool squads of the past were just missing that key player, you know, quality winger. If we could get top-notch winger, if we get like Joaquin or someone instead of Pennant, what happened to Samal, Sabrosa, Quaresma? The regular calls for get Marco Reus. And even when you look at those squads, like the best midfield in the world, right? Alonso, Gerrard, Mascherano, Pass Master, Terrier, Destroyer, Gerrard, Golden Boy, Shooter, dominating the midfield. They are all specialists in their own individual area, apart from Gerrard. But Gerrard wouldn't stay in the midfield, he would roam a bit, which is why the tactical indiscipline got him placed on a graveyard shift on the right under Benitez. Mascherano, you know, an absolute hound, a terrier, but he was very limited on the ball. He can win the ball back, but box to box, win the ball, have to give it to someone else. Alonso, playmaking from the back, you know, he's still in his younger years while he was at Liverpool before he fully matured at Real and at Bayern Munich. So this squad right here, I believe, is the best Liverpool squad in history. Please feel free to disagree with me, prove me wrong, explain why in the comments below. Klopp did say that this was the best ever Liverpool squad he's had in his whole tenure here. And who are we to disagree? 2-0 at the Emirates versus Arsenal. Arsenal played well, they were in form. They were confident, they were strong, they performed well in the first half. But this squad, this is the first time this front three lined up together, I believe, in the league, if not ever, for Liverpool. And our man Diogo opened the scoring. When you can bring on Salah and Firmino for Diogo and Diaz, you know you've got a good squad. And not only that, this isn't a squad that was bought with billions and billions of pounds. Who was the man of the match? El Robbo. He was nurtured. He was nurtured by Klopp, and he was an absolute star. Scottish Braveheart, What a player, what a man. That win builds confidence in the whole squad, and now we're only a point behind City, a win over Watford, and we go top. We go top, baby. Who would have thought that back in January? Even in February is a distant passion, really, to get there. But these boys have done it. Keep up the momentum, boys. You can do this. Prove that you are the best Liverpool squad in Liverpool history. Okay, so the reason why this might be the strongest Liverpool squad in history is in the last word there, squad. Liverpool traditionally have always had a very strong first 11. That's why they can compete. But when the rotational players, when squad players come in, there's usually a significant weakness that goes in, either tactically or in terms of personnel. However, this squad, you can see here, this squad is kitted out with personnel to the max. And there's a lot of familiar faces here and talent, extreme talent, that can not only change the system or the way of playing, but they add particular attributes that other players do not have, okay? What we have here is the first 11 that El Kloppo has gone with in the majority of the big games, and there's good reasoning for that. The back line speaks for itself. This is the most solid back line, you know, with perhaps the exception of Konate in when you need a physical presence in there, because they all know exactly what they're doing in this particular team. Robbo pushes up and down the left, provides that energy, he's defensively solid, he works the 1-2s and combinations along with Mane and whoever's the left-sided central midfielder. Trent Alexander-Arnold speaks for himself. He's the most unique right back possibly in history. You're talking all the way back to redefine the role. Cafu, Dani Alves, but basically with Trent's delivery, there's no one in history who can claim to be such a playmaker from the right back position. Okay, Trent's made that his own. He operates in the half space at wing back here. Matip, not only is he defensively solid and underrated, but his forays into the midfield, he opens up the gaps. He can waddle his way through the midfield. He's got a lot of composure, formerly being a midfielder, and he can actually open up the gaps and provide an assist, as you saw previously with the Luis Diaz assist in the other game. And the man is hilarious. Check out No Context Joel Matip on Twitter. Van Dijk, what a colossus, a Rolls Royce, a premium defender, a premium footballer. His distribution from the back is unmatched. He can ping the ball off both feet, predominantly right-footed, and he can make any press redundant because he can break the lines with a simple pass. Back four speaks for itself. Alisson Becker, clean sheet king, solid presence, unflappable. When you're one-on-one with Alisson, you don't fancy it. Beast. Back line, always in place, solid. Potentially Konate when you need a physical presence and a fast attribute as well. Okay, but that back line, solid. Then we come to the midfield. The midfield is the most chopped and changed area of this current Liverpool squad, and the reason is they have to work hard in there. Okay, you heard the term water carrier, Didier Deschamps doing it for France. These three in the middle have a particular responsibility to keep the shape, to keep the opportunities for the opposition at a minimum, but also they provide the options, okay? You ping it into them, they look around, they got to know the presence, they got to have that 360 perspective because the game is happening all around them and they don't have time to react. So you need good techers, you need a good touch, you need vision, you need awareness. They need to look around the pitch before they receive the ball. Obviously Firmino, starting holding midfielder, but he's not just a destroyer. He's a great tackler and a great destroyer, but he's also a great distributor as well. He can play those first time lofted balls, he can play the 1-2s to get himself in position, he can receive the ball under pressure from the back line. He is an absolute asset. He can drop into the back line as well. He was a makeshift centre half in the previous season when we had injuries, but what you may not know is predominantly he played at right back in his previous club. Right back charging up and down the lines, he's very comfortable with ball to feet, he's comfortable running with the ball, but now in his new role, he gets it, receives it, plays it on, keeps the ball ticking, okay? Henderson, El Captain, he's one of the greatest captains in Liverpool history. I mean, he's had a tough time at the beginning of Liverpool, mainly because he's compared to Steven Gerrard. No one can play like Gerrard. Gerrard's an all-rounder, he can do everything, but Henderson ties things together. There's a lot of intangible attributes that Henderson offers that you may not realise. His leadership, his presence. He's a hard man as well. You see Diego Costa backing away when Henderson approached him. He's a proper hard lad. And he's well spoken as well. He's respected throughout all of football. He's a captain's captain. When he's on there, he provides the energy. He's a Duracell bunny. He goes up and down. He's increasing in years at the moment, but don't underestimate the influence and leadership roles. The intangibles really add something here, and it's something that Klopp and the coaching team values. He's a leader in the dressing room and in the wider community, okay? So there he is on the right-hand side, predominantly, because he's all right-footed. He's got a good right cross, a good right delivery, complements Trent well. He covers for Trent on that side as well. This left midfield slot is up for question at the moment. Okay, so you look at Thiago Alcantara, supremely talented footballer, one of the most talented footballers of his generation, if not of all time. His technique is unmatched, it's unreal. Watch YouTube highlights of what Thiago can do, mesmerizing. The problems are his body, physicality, injury. It took him some time to get to speed with the Premier League. Surely, you know, in time, quality always prevails. And when he's on the pitch, you can tell when him and Firmino play together, their win rate is immaculate. Not just that, they just don't lose. They dominate midfield, they control it, they've got technique. They can roll the ball underneath their studs. They don't need to take a side foot stop. Thiago controls the tempo of the game. His passing range is unmatched. He can beat a player. The important part of this left field slot is Thiago can beat a player with trickery, with skill, with a shimmy, with a feint, and break the line through skill. Henderson won't break the line through skill. He can 1-2 it past someone, get into the open spaces, receive it under pressure. Fabinho as well, he's got the vision to break it, but he won't break them with skill or with pace. Thiago can. But not just Thiago, when he's injured, as we mentioned before, it's Naby Lad. Naby Keita can also take that role on left midfield. So significantly different players, okay? Big expectations when Naby Lad came in. Look at him, Naby Lad. Beautiful smile. Naby Lad is a ball carrier. He's got techers, he can dribble, he can play with both feet, he's quite quick, he's very skillful. Something that's underestimated with Naby Lad is when Naby Lad plays, our pressing increases dramatically. He is a pressing monster and a pressing machine. And as Jurgen Klopp said, counter-pressing is the best playmaker in the game because catches the opposition off guard, and you have a chance to break straight away. And Naby Lad can play the 1-2s, he can receive under pressure, and he can beat a player. These two can beat players. Thiago, pure skill and body feints. Naby Keita, he's got techers on both feet, and he can shoot as well. But let's take him out for now, okay? It's either Thiago or Naby Lad in that preferential left midfield slot. We've talked about the midfield. Chop and change is the engine room of the Liverpool system. They've got to win the ball to give it to the dangerous players in deadly positions, okay? And this is the front three for this season. It's probably the most offensive-minded front three because Diogo Jota, quite rightly so, started the season on fire. He's clinical, he's two-footed, he's got a jinky run, and he's unpredictable as well. Unlike others, he will shoot on sight because two-footed, creates himself a yard of space, he's got composure, he's probably the most natural finisher in the club at the moment. And that's surprising because when he was at Wolves, you saw a very skillful player, a very kind of intricate player trying to run between the lines, ball glued to his feet, didn't always have the best vision, but Wolves didn't always dominate possession, so he didn't get the ball into positions to show his finishing prowess. But now he's at Liverpool, he gets the opportunities, and when he's in and around the penalty area, you always expect a good shot on target, at least. He is a big compliment to the existing front three because, as we know, Liverpool's front three through the last few seasons have been dominant, regarded as the best front three in world football. There's been other quality front threes before. Man City have had one, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, PSG, but the time-tested Firmino, Salah, Mane front line has been very effective and delivered trophies. But Diogo Jota offers something different. He is clinical, he's got a good shot, and he complements the other two as well because in and around the area when the ball drops, either one of the front three, if they're serviced correctly, the other team's in danger. Now, I've said that this might be the go-to 11 on big matches, and this was true for the start of the season. But come January, Luis Diaz, baby. Luis Diaz has come in, and wow, what a player, what a threat. Not just the skill, but the work rate, the pressing. He has adapted to the Liverpool system, flush on. And with that in mind, and Diogo Jota being injured, let's move Jota out for now. There's been a slight shift in tactics here, where Mane has gone central, and Luis Diaz has gone to the left. Now this is an interesting look for Liverpool. This is the first reason why the squad has such strength in depth. When you looked past the front three in previous seasons, we saw Divock Origi. Sometimes the Ox goes on the right hand side. Players are shuffled around to get into that front line, but there was no real replacement for Mane, Firmino and Salah because of what they do. Salah being an inverted winger from right hand side, cuts in on the left. You know what he's going to do with that left foot. But in recent seasons, he's improved his efficiency with his right foot. Amazing. He's scored beautiful goals. That goal against City, against Aymeric Laporte, sat him down, right foot, slatted it in. Okay, right foot, slotted it in. Okay, so this front line, the reason why this is particularly effective is because of Luis Diaz here. He has made such an impact. If you see the percentage of areas played on the pitch, there's a lot more focus towards the left-hand channel and left-hand wing, because he's trusted not only to come to get the ball to feet, but also playing the ball around the outside. Robbo has a nice curved left-footed pass on the touchline into Luis Diaz. He holds it up. If he's one-on-one, he can attack and beat the man on the outside, on the inside, or play it across. Luis Diaz has been an exceptional outlet. He's super skillful. He's got a good shot as well. He can actually play with both feet. He's right-footed, inverted winger, cutting in a la Mane. Mane is an interesting one because Mane started his career on the right-hand side. We had a significant weakness on the right wing. Mane came in, and you saw his goal against Arsenal. Dribble down the right wing, cutting on the left, shooting with his left. If you ask people, which foot is Mane's stronger foot? People would say right foot. Even Mane would say his right foot. But if you ask Sadio Mane which foot he shoots better with, he said left. With left, he wellies it, he goes for power. With right foot, he's got a bit of finesse and a bit of curl. So, Mane, being central striker, can go both directions. Luis Diaz can actually use both feet as well. Predominantly, he plays on the left-hand side as an inverted winger, but he's become such an outlet and such an important player. He's brave. He's got the work ethic because of his upbringing as well, and he's been an absolute steal. Thank you, Spurs, for reducing his price tag, allowing us to get him, and also divvying as well when it looked like they might get him, you know. Even West Ham said they went in for Luis Diaz. Okay, so we know what Salah and Mane can do. Mane will always work hard. He's an absolute beast in terms of making sure the opposition never have a break. He is an absolute stud. Doesn't give him a moment's rest. He hassles him. His physicality is amazing. He can, straight back from African Cup of Nations, celebrating the victory, straight back in, he performs. He has never ever let Liverpool down. He is a legend, and it was actually his signing, right, that turned the tide, because as soon as he signed, we had pace, we had power, we had a good shot. He's great in the air. His headed goals have provided victory on so many occasions. He's underrated in the air. So not only is he such a threat with both feet and from both wings, he provides an aerial presence that sadly, you know, with the height, we don't have. But actually, as long as the ball is quality, like Trent provides, then headed goals come aplenty anyway. Speaking of which, Diogo Jota is a surprisingly good header of the ball as well. There was a recent question to Diogo Jota, whose header was the best, whose heading ability was the best in the front three, and people said Mane because of obviously his goals. But you saw that Diogo Jota headed assist right through the lines with power. Jota is surprisingly good in the air as well, and that can only mean good things, especially with the delivery of these two, Robbo and Trent. So this has been the team that's played quite often in recent matches, and the reason for that is Luis Diaz has made such an impact, and he's been trusted by Klopp. Klopp doesn't usually throw players in the deep end. He wants them to adjust to the tactical structure of the team and what their specific role is, how they're meant to press, when they're meant to wait. He's effective. He opened the scoring against Brighton with his bravery, but it was also his movement that got him in place. Because he moves so well and into the spaces and identifies the opportunities, the passes along the back, you're talking Robbo, Van Dijk, Matip running through the midfield, Trent. It was Matip on this occasion, going into the half channel here and crossing across. But Firmino, Thiago, Henderson. When you look at this foundation of the team here, the passing ability is amazing. You don't have your classic destroyer, your defensive midfielder like Makaleli, who will just break up play and give it to someone. All these people can pick a pass and they can find someone. And I think that has been a big improvement for Liverpool over the seasons, because you're not relying on one person to break the lines with a pass, with a bit of vision. There's threats all over the pitch here. Okay, so we're just looking at personnel at the moment, and we know this first 11 is very strong. The only other changes that could come in for the first 11, as we mentioned, so Thiago coming back from injury, or sometimes giving him a breather, and that wee lad comes in. Even Henderson has been rotated recently. So Henderson, you could put Thiago where Henderson is. Actually, when Thiago plays, sometimes Keita drops to the right-hand side as well here. When Keita was on the right-hand side, that's when they destroyed Man United, because they couldn't track Keita. Nobody could follow Keita's runs. His power, his pace, his persistence, his determination, his link up with Salah. That's actually something I want to see more often. Keita and Salah ran that match against Man United. They gave Shaw and Maguire a torrid time. Absolutely wrecked them. McFred didn't stand a chance. McFred, wow. Yeah, so beginning of the season, Harvey Elliott came in for Henderson. So when you want an additional threat, someone who can take the ball under pressure but looks forward on the first instance, doesn't have to play it back, play it safe, play it short, with a bit of dynamism, a bit of dribbling ability. Harvey Elliott, being left-footed on the right hand side of midfield here, provided another option, and he can also cut inside, allowing Salah to go around the outside. He can also play inverted wing as well, allowing Salah to go into the half space in front of the striker here. So Harvey Elliott as an option is a very interesting choice in the midfield. Obviously, he doesn't quite have the running power of Henderson, so the cover for Trent needs to be spot on. Firmino might need to have a bit of bias on that side. But Harvey Elliott in that position before his horrid injury was making a lot of inroads. Okay, so this might be the formation at the moment, but do not discount Bobby Firmino. Elliott recently said, the most underrated player apart from himself, Bobby Firmino. Where does Firmino come in? Let's go back to the tried and tested front three. So Mane pops onto the left again, and that's another big up to Mane's name, because he came in as a right winger. He played the season as a right winger. He's possibly the player of the season when he played right wing. In fact, he might have been, I can't remember. But Firmino is the glue that sticks it all together. Now, if Jota is effective at running in behind, carrying the ball with either foot, taking shots, Firmino's presence cannot be understated. He's probably the most intelligent player, apart from Thiago maybe, on the pitch, because his movement absolutely befuddles defenders. They don't know whether to come. If he drops into the number 10 position, do the centre halves come and get him? Which centre half comes and gets him? Because then there's an overload, and Salah Mane can go in behind in that kind of triangle. If he stays up top, if he's high, if he presses up high, he starts to press and everyone else follows it. His energy is unlimited. And also, he's probably one of the best players at receiving the ball under pressure. Now, that position there, Klopp mentioned, anyone who goes in that position, Wijnaldum tried it for one match in the Champions League, it's a thankless task, because you've got to be constantly moving, and you might not get the right ball. It might be intercepted, and the type of balls that come through have to be pinged through a pace or in the air. He has to run the channels, run behind the back line, drop short to collect it. He has to receive the ball in countless, thankless areas, and as such, he never complains. Look at those smiley teeth. On a rating of 0 to 5, with 0 being the absolutely brightest one, he said, I want higher than 0, or less than 0, not sure. But he wanted brighter than white, and that's what he got. Okay, so with Firmino there, another added benefit is the enemy team are stifled when they're trying to play out. When you have a defensive midfielder who actually is a ball player, someone like Jorginho, Granit Xhaka to some extent, maybe Partey likes to distribute the ball around, your Michael Carricks of the old generation, your Pirlos, you play Bobby Firmino, because Firmino sits on that playmaker, and not only does he sit on that playmaker, when it's in the offensive transition, Firmino pushes up as well, which causes the question, does that playmaker have to track Firmino, or does the centre-half come and get him as well? He occupies that whole area between the defensive midfield playmaker, the deep-lying playmaker, the Alonso-style player, and the two centre-halves, even more so when it's free at the back, when you've got the kind of Chelsea system. Who picks up Firmino? Firmino drifts around, he roams around. Is he a midfielder? Is he a striker? Is he a number 10? Is he a shadow striker? Someone has to pick him up, because if he is allowed to get on the ball, turn, he will play the ball to get Mane in, to get Salah in, and then you're in trouble. Also, he's a great header of the ball. He's underrated as a header, because when you need a game winner, when you need someone to win the ball in the air, to be clinical in the air and finish it off, Firmino is the one that breaks the deadlock. Against Inter Milan, ball comes in, Firmino buries it. Against Tottenham, last minute, where'd you go? Cross comes in, Firmino buries it. Tim Sherwood, yep, Liverpool no threat. I feel confident with this corner. Didn't bank on Firmino. Smashing the ball in, late winner. Bobby Dazzler, he's the man. Underrated, manager's dream. This works very well because Firmino, being selfless, is more interested in assists than goals. It sounds a bit funny, he does score goals, but he's not the best shooter. He doesn't actually shoot particularly well, which is surprising because in the first few seasons, he had some really good techers in terms of shooting, kind of the bended effort against Arsenal, the slotted effort where he goes on a slalom ring run, and he slotted it in as well. So it always used to be an issue when one of the first 11 members were injured. The replacement was not up to the required standard and there was always a drop in quality. But for the first time in many a season, I can positively say that when at least 5 personnel come in, there's no significant drop in quality. So if we put Luis Diaz, Jota, Thiago, Tsimikas, Konate. With any of these lads, when any of these lads come in, there's not a significant drop in difference. They offer different qualities. Pressing and link-up play, finishing, skills, techers, enthusiasm, pass master, tempo controller, breaking lines box to box. Actually, I'm going to put Harvey Elliott in there as well because he offers something different. He's still young, he's still learning his trade, but he's got something about him. He's supremely talented, and at the start of the season before his injury, he really offered something there, so I'm going to be kind to Elliott. Thiago. Henderson can go in defensive midfield role as well. There's no replacement for Van Dijk. Van Dijk plays every game. He doesn't sweat. The man's a beast. He's an absolute machine. What a man. Perfect skin. So shiny. Tsimikas. Now, here's a proper lad, a proper fella. Wild caveman dancing in the celebrations. He's got a wand of a left foot. His delivery might even be better than Robbo's, you know. I know, absolute blasphemy, but his delivery from the left-hand side, that whip he gets, he takes the corners, it's always a threat. There always seems to be a Liverpool forward at the end of his crosses. His crossing is supreme. I think his right foot is better than Robbo as well, but Robbo is defensively solid. He goes up and down. He's an absolute machine. He's a beast, Robbo, up and down that left wing. His link-up play is excellent. Tsimikas. If we had a Tsimikas on the right-hand side, we'd be completely sorted. I think that's a target for the summer, getting a proper right back up for Trent. No one can do what Trent does, but you at least want someone who's defensively solid and offers something different. Nico Williams, bless him. He's on loan at Fulham at the moment. Last day of the transfer window in January, he left. We were hoping to get Fabio Carvalho coming, but unfortunately fell through. Nico Williams, a lot of pace, a lot of enthusiasm. He's got that kind of youth mindset. He just goes for it. He runs down the wing. He's got a bit of skill as well. He tries to get the ball in the box. He hasn't got the same delivery quality as Trent. In fact, his delivery quality from out wide isn't the best, but his running power, his strength, his speed, he's faster than Trent. He can carry the ball in terms of dribbling on the run quite well as well. He's effective for Fulham. Fast breaking on the counter-attack, pressing up high. Nico Williams, good player, but I don't think he's a long-term backup for Trent because he'll just never get in front of Trent. If we had a good squad player, someone who's well-loved, very popular, plays his part, if we had a right-sided Tsimikas, I think the squad would be lush, absolutely lush. Who else can possibly get in? Oh, we missed one. Vandenberg. Or no, just kidding. Sorry, Vandenberg, Ginger Ninja. Risa. No, okay. So these are what I'd call the prime first 11 members. Question marks on Harvey Elliott, but he'll get there. He is quality. He will make a name for himself. High potential of all the youths in Liverpool, I would say. So this is the first 11 squad itself. Okay, so let's see how it works slightly beyond the first 11. Goalkeepers. Alisson, absolutely dominant, as we mentioned. If Kelleher comes in, as we saw in the Carabao Cup final, Kelleher, what a quality keeper. Safe hands, he is calm. He is calmness personified. Kelleher, he can actually claim a lot of things in the air. He hasn't got that physical, overbearing presence that Alisson has got, but, you know, cheeky chappy, nice lad. I like his confidence when he got dropped for the Arsenal first leg. He didn't put up with it. He asked Klopp, why? Why am I dropped? Explain, give me the reasons. He's a keeper and he's a winner, and they've already said we're going to keep him for next season. He'll get more opportunities. He's a natural successor to Alisson. I think he'll have a great career, but long may Alisson reign, because Alisson is the best ever keeper I've ever seen in Liverpool. He is just strong in every area and in every attribute, and even when he makes mistakes, they don't get him down. He's back to being his dominant self as soon as. Beyond that, we have Adrian. Adrian. I'm going to let you see this. Let's get him, and let's not be too harsh on him, but let's get Adrian and let's get Curtis Jones. That is a long ass face. And I love Adrian, but yeah. That's almost double the size of Jones. I think these are the same proportions. That is a nice chiseled lengthy man face. I love it. He's almost double Curtis Jones. Bless him. Adrian is a good lad. Good lad to have around changing room, dressing room. You know, for someone who's not played at the highest level for all his career, he is an asset to the squad because he never complains, he works hard, and he really supports his teammates and backs up his teammates. He may not be the top quality that you'd expect, but he's a suitable, number 3. And at this stage, he's number 3. Kelleher has come in. Queeve has come in and cemented a number 2 spot. Number 3 is Adrian. Number 4, Pichulaga. So Pichulaga, recommended by Alisson Beck himself from Brazil. There's a good Brazilian contingent coming in here. And this is something I'd like to point out as well. It's not just the quality of the player. You have to kind of harness a good environment, a good work environment, similar to how you do it in a day job. You need a good environment for your players to thrive, and there's a good Brazilian contingent, good South American contingent, and they all speak the same language and have the same culture. They go around each other's houses, have the same food. Adrian, good 3rd choice. Pichulaga, 4th choice, youth keeper, up and coming, a lot of potential. Brazilian. Then you've got the flair. Colombian. Missing out anyone? South American. That's it from what I can see. But they get on well. They have their barbecues. They have their siestas, their sambas. Samba style. I love samba style. Speaking of cultures, there's my boy there. Takumi Minamino. Taki lad. We'll get into Taki lad soon. Representing Japan. So in the goalkeeping department, we're well stocked. Now, Loris Karius, 5th choice, doesn't get in the squad. He's there, he puts out the cones. No, not really. Karius is involved in goalkeeper drills. He's part of the squad, bless him. He did suffer the concussion in the Champions League final. Not a great performance. That's what he's going to be remembered by. He was an okay keeper. Took over from Mignolet, both from a bit flappy, but they played for Liverpool. We support them. They tried their best. But Karius himself, enjoying life. Have a look. That's what he prefers to do. Footballing days over. Dating models. Well, he's a lad. Yeah. Okay. So goalkeeping. In the goalkeeping department, Liverpool are well stocked. I mean, Kelleher coming in for Alisson. He's a sweeper keeper as well. There's not too much difference. Kelleher actually used to play in midfield and forward in his younger days, so he's got good distribution, he's got calmness on the ball. When he slotted that penalty, he said himself he was going to go to the right hand side to Kepa's left, but he saw Kepa moving that direction, so he wrapped his foot around it, bent it into the left. The rest is history. Carabao Cup, yeah. And then but it's such a shame. YouTube took down my Luis Diaz video. I don't know what copyright was in there. I'm sure it can't be many. There's other Carabao Cup videos in there, but it's performing well. Hey ho, back to Liverpool vids. Let's get to it. In defensive positions. Okay, so we already talked about this. Matip, experience, composure, hilarious things Matip does. Matip, what a lad. Van Dijk loves him. I love him. Everyone loves him. Player of the month in the last month. He's not only solid, right? He's solid in the air. He's solid on the ground. He's deceptively quick. He's got long strides. He's not the fastest. Ibu is faster than Matip. But Matip has great contribution. He's always in and around the penalty area, causing havoc of corners and set pieces. He's the one that set Origi in the Champions League final to bury up the second one to secure that win, 2-0 victory. Joel Matip has the ability to waltz into midfield, to play the extra defensive midfield role. He's a front-footed defender. He cleans up and he mops up. Van Dijk, Colossus, beast, transformative. That fee worth every penny. He was worth waiting for. He transformed Liverpool alongside Alisson, giving confidence to the rest of the team to go and do what they do, because these guys at the back, they got you covered. High line, doesn't matter. Van Dijk will clean up. He'll let you have that yard of pace in front of him. Dzeko, on you go. Heavy first touch, clean up, mop up. Okay. Gomez was a huge part of that, but unfortunately injuries have set him back. But don't forget, he's still very young. He's nowhere near prime for defender. English, quick, part of a champion team. Gomez will come back. He'll come back stronger. He's English, so he counts as homegrown as well. I think we got him from Charlton back in the day. He's a good lad. He doesn't complain. Head down, works hard. Good member of the squad. I hear rumours about Aston Villa being interested in Gomez. Why not? Gerrard's there. Knows what Gomez can do. Keep Gomez. Okay. Not only can he play along the whole of the back line, he's not typically a fullback, but he's solid enough. He's even played on the left sometimes. Okay. Gomez, English, premium price tag, worth it. He doesn't have to play every game because of the injuries. Matip has overcome his injuries, and if Matip can do it, Gomez can do it as well. If we do sell Gomez, We need a suitable young up-and-coming player to back him up. None of the experience. We've got enough experience in the back line. Have someone young, fresh, and pace. His pace is a huge asset, okay? Trent, world-class, right back, delivery, Scouser, future captain. Is he really that inspirational captain figure? Your Hendersons, your Van Dijks. I understand he's a local lad, he's English, he speaks well, but then you see him in the car pimping my ride with Robbo there, and he's a proper lad, isn't he? He's got proper bants, he's got good banter. So yeah, captain material, possibly. Maybe lead by example like Gerrard, but he's got a bit of flair, and I don't want to see that toned down. You know, Henderson's responsible. Henderson gives you the stock response, the answers that you're expecting to hear, but Trent is a bit yeah, he's a lad, Robbo, cheeky chappy, pushing Messi's head, bit of a troublemaker. You can tell he get disciplined at school. The tension for you, son. Good lad, fan favourite, Braveheart, Scottish Braveheart, works up and down the channel, always links up well with Mane or Diaz. He's created a good connection with Diaz straight away, that left connection. Tsimikas we've talked about as well, an apt backup. You never notice when Tsimikas is in a team, you know, because he's always slotting in perfectly. Defence with Gomez. Millie covers right back, okay? Because Nico Williams is out, Milner covers the right back slot. Henderson also is in that half wing back slot as well sometimes to cover from marauding rampaging. Milner, being a former winger, actually is pretty good on the touchline. There was a game last season when Milner started right back, and then when Nico Williams transitioned to right back, we lost our solidarity because Milner, with his experienced head, knows what to do. And look at his jawline, what a man. American dad. Quagmire. Oh, the boring James Milner. Gotta love Millie. Millie, epic. Goes down as a Liverpool legend. One of the best free transfers ever. His impact in Liverpool is transformative as well because his influence, everyone respects Millie, and you listen to what he says, and he's a machine. He wins the fitness challenge every single season in pre-season. Okay. Elsewhere in defence, Nat Phillips out on loan. Braveheart as well, wins everything in the air. Can't complain. He's done his role. English premium on that. Reece Williams also the same. The only complaint you can levy at Reece Williams and Nat Phillips is they lack a bit of pace. But Reece Williams is back and he can play in the cups. He's actually got good distribution from the back as well. He's a nice lad, a good lad. He played a big game versus United. Nico Williams, we've talked about in Fulham already. Sepp van den Berg, having a good season out on loan. He's Dutch. He's compatriot Van Dijk. He's got potential, you know. When he first came here, new culture, new language, new system, struggled a bit, but yeah, he's one for the future. We'll see how it goes. Let's go into midfield. So midfield has always been a point of contention for Liverpool fans. Now there used to be a feeling in the midfield that something was lacking, right? Goals from midfield, attacking threat from midfield. Where's our creativity? Back in the day they used to shove Coutinho in there. Where's our Steven Gerrard? Where's someone who can make a bit of magic from the middle of the park? It's not their role. This system here is hard, heavy metal football because from back to front they don't mind the long ball, the long pass, distribution out wide. Van Dijk can ping it out to Salah. Robbo, Trent, working the half spaces. That's where the creativity comes from. The middle is workmanlike. It protects the back at all times. If we lose the ball, they are in position. They win the ball, they recycle it, they play the 1-2s, and they get Salah and Mane into the half space when Robbo and Trent overlap. Okay, let's put the players back. Oh, sorry, Harvey. MC Harvey. Let's get these players back on the bench. And let's look at the system and what the midfield is being asked to do. So the role of the midfield is not to play the through balls straight away. If you see an opportunity, if you see the vision, if you work it into a good area, like that 50 billion pass smooth where Henderson slotted in Diaz to chip the keeper, it's only on the transition when they win the ball in the middle third that they go forward. In general play, with a possession-based style, they work the ball around until they see an opportunity to get Salah or Mane into half space. Because the way they play, when they got the ball, Trent sticks to this channel here. Robbo is up here. Fabinho and Thiago probe, and there's usually one in front. But the one in front will be Henderson in half space here, or Thiago in half space here. Fabinho is the water carrier, he's the holding player. Salah will very often tuck inside Firmino will come back and they'll play this kind of system here. This is the traditional Liverpool look. It's a lopsided Liverpool system, and the reason is they love Trent's delivery. So with this setup here, Salah is on the edge of the penalty box area and he can go in and around and play the 1-2s with Firmino, and he can probe. This gives Trent the freedom of the right hand side to either overlap or get the ball or whip the ball in. What Trent usually does is as well, he plays high and then Henderson drops into this half space because he will play the ball back to Henderson, who will also whip it in. In this system here, the expectation is that Mane is a threat on the other side. So either you can whip it in for Mane to have a goal scoring opportunity, or you whip it beyond the goal line and the threat becomes this side for everyone to run in on the back post on the right hand side, okay? The two main targets are if Mane and Firmino in a good opportunity, you whip it in to give him a goal scoring chance. If there's no clear cut chance here, then Mane and Robbo wait for the cross beyond the goal line, because then you're changing the point of attack, whereas everyone's set up and overloaded on this side. The point of attack becomes that direction, which means they can work it between themselves for Salah to be the main threat, coming in from that direction as well. So it's not always an even-sided attack, it pivots. If there's an opportunity to cross it in from the right, you look for goal scoring opportunity. If it's not there, you change the point of attack by either working it around and transitioning again, or whipping it across and transitioning or trying to attack on the opposite side. The threat of the attack is not always the side where the ball is at. You've got to look at the runners on the other side, because that is an easier route to goal than you running in yourself. The ball will always move faster than you can possibly go yourself. And that is the point of transition, and that is the point of attack. Let's move them back. So we go back to our standard 4-3-3. Now before the introduction of Thiago, they recycled the ball around, the obvious passes, they played it out wide, played it back, they're looking to probe. With the introduction of Thiago, he can beat a player on the outside, or he can beat them with a pass. He will play those difficult passes even when someone is under pressure. When someone is man-marked, he can thread the needle, but not as a through ball per se. He is the person who assists before the actual assist in the goal. So for example, if Salah was to square it to Mane to score, it could have been Thiago who threaded it through to Salah, or more often than not, because he plays on the left hand side, he will play the ball to Mane, who will slot it to someone to score the goal. He is the assist before the assist, and he is very good at playing balls that you wouldn't identify as the right ball to play. When you are educated in football to look for the player in space, give it to the player in space, or the player under pressure who plays it back, Thiago somewhat breaks that methodology, because he can actually change the pace and tempo of the play by playing a ball the opposition aren't taught to press. When they press up high, he can slot it in and around a player in central midfield, and that is why he's invaluable. His touch gives him the time. So before he receives the ball, he's already got a 360 vision of the pitch. He's that type of player. When he receives the ball, he doesn't receive the ball standing still. He goes to the ball, collects it, and places it in the position to play the pass to open up a defence. Opening up a defence doesn't mean the through ball to score the goal, as I mentioned. It plays it to get the player into the position of maximum damage. The positions of maximum damage on Mane is either on the inside channel, there, inside the side halves, or he can slide it so you can get around the outside on either side there, waiting for the pullback from either player as well. That is the value of having a player like Thiago and Harvey Elliott in the future. Also Naby Keita can somewhat do it as well. Okay, so the midfield options: Naby Keita, box to box, energy, leads to press. He's actually got impressive pressing stats. In fact, there's a statistic that we press better when Keita is in instead of either Thiago or Henderson, including Henderson. When Keita is in there, our pressing stats spot on, okay? And that is why he was referred to as an absolute pressing monster by the statistician when we signed him. Unfortunately, injuries have taken a toll a bit. Ox. Okay, interesting dilemma here. Lovely lad, everyone loves the Ox. Because they love the Ox, everyone knows about Little Mix. Forget Little Mix, Perry's nice. Ox used to be a box-to-box midfielder who can break the lines with his pace, his dribbling, his directness. He is a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. Bit harsh to say, but he's not quite a right winger and he's not quite a central midfielder, but he has an attribute that offers something to this midfield. He can shoot. He's a long range shooter. He can shoot very well. Man City know it. He's done it twice against them in big occasions. He's got a very good right-footed shot and it hasn't been diminished by injuries. Something that Ox can do that not many other players on the pitch here. A straight, hard shot going straight towards the goal. Doesn't have to be bent, doesn't have to be hit with the instep. He can hit it true, straight at the goal. The only players in this whole squad who I believe who can hit that type of shot, a Gerrard, a Risa type of shot, Jota, Mane with his left foot, Thiago, Fabinho, and Ox, of which all of those players, the ones that get the opportunity to hit that Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes type shot is Ox, because he's the only one in the midfield line who can break into the space when they're occupied by the front three. They lay it off for him to take that shot across goal. He has scored valuable goals for Liverpool, especially in the African Cup of Nations in the absence of Mane, Salah. Ox stepped up a bit. Injuries have taken a toll. That horrendous injury against Roma, you don't know, but he didn't just injure one part of his knee, he injured like 4 parts of his knee and all those tendons and ligaments. Wow. And when he explored the options in defence, obviously Van Dijk, a colossus, man mountain, left-sided centre-back. He made an interesting point as well, how to defend one-on-ones. A lot of advice when you're a schoolboy focuses on looking at the ball, look at the ball, look where the ball is going. But professionals at this level are mesmerising. They got those tricky, dazzling feet. He said, don't look at the ball, you look the player square in the eyes, you look where they're going, you look where they're predicting, because as much as they want to, human nature dictates that their eyes will reveal a lot about their intentions. So Van Dijk looks them in the eyes, and if they happen to see Mr. Van Dijk in the eyes, they're screwed, they're finished. Did you see Lautaro Martinez? He looked at Van Dijk, saw him in the eyes like, nah bruh, I ain't having none of that. Turn back. Robbo said himself, what's the strategy to defending successfully? He said, show them inside. Virgil. What a Don. Don Virgil. Excellent. But let's mention Ibu Konate here. So when you need physicality, right? I am so glad the Liverpool prioritised Ibu Konate rather than Dayo Upamecano, because you know Dayo's good for Bayern, a bit of a leader, a bit of a maverick, but Ibu, even though he had injury problems there, because he's been used sparingly, his physicality, his potential, his youth, he has pace, he has power, he's strong, he's grounded. He comes from a lovely family. He knows to work hard and the rewards will come your way. And he's got confidence as well. He's like, why can't I be part of the first team? And of course he can be. For some of the trickier matches like United, he went straight into lineup. And Klopp is not afraid to put Ibu in to show what he's got. Because you might say he's a bit raw, but he's still quality for his age. In fact, he's quality in general, forget the age, and he's only going to get better. He's learning from the best in Van Dijk as well. And a word up for Gomez as well. Gomez and Van Dijk had that solid partnership for months and months. He's coming back from the injury trail. He needs a consistent run of games, but he's a key member of the squad, you know. Gomez, Van Dijk, Matip, Ibu Konate, that is as solid as you're going to get in world football for fourth centre-backs. And then you've got Fabinho who can slot in there, and Henderson on the occasion. And then, obviously the youngsters, they did a good job. Unfortunately, Ben Davies is never going to get a game. He missed his opportunity through injury. Unfortunate for the lad, but still part of Liverpool, still part of history. Well done, lad. You made it to Liverpool. Okay. So those matches where you need a goal threat, where you're going to have a lot of possession, where you need a shot, even a long shot might hit a deflection or that pace and drive through the middle, Ox still offers those valuable attributes. He's English. He is injury prone. He does have niggles, you know, unfortunately because of his past history of injuries. But he can be relied upon because like Henderson on this side and like Trent, Ox also has a good cross. He has good delivery. He used to be the free kick taker as well. He assisted Salah quite a few times with his free kick ability. So Ox, Hendo and Trent all have good delivery from the right hand channel and on the right hand side. And Ox has a long range shot. He's a goal threat. He's one of the few shooters in the squad who can hit straight and hit true. Not like the curling effort that Henderson has to do. Henderson can only do that curling shot. It's a good curling shot, but it has to be set up for him. He's not going to make a yard of space and welly it, punt it into the net. Okay, so looking at midfield options, Henderson, Fabinho, the Lighthouse, Thiago, we've talked about already. Matip steps into the midfield, drives through the middle. Ox, who else we have? Naby Keita, box to box. He's got Tekers. Millie. Solid, veteran, reliable. There's a reason that Klopp always turns to Milner to shore up a game at the end of the game. Not just for leadership and responsibility, but Milner knows when to go forward, when to keep it safe. Do you remember in that comeback against Barcelona, you give it to Milner in the corner and he will hold on to it. He'll squeeze it with both feet between his legs. You can try to kick it from underneath him, he'll win a foul. He's old school, he's clever, he's a real man. Milner, respect. Taki. Can Taki slot into the midfield? So Taki's an interesting one here. Japanese representative, my man Taki, Minamino-san. Basically, celebrity in Japan. Huge for the national team. Love me some Taki. Very proud to have him in Liverpool. He's more of a creative kind of attacking third player. He's a kind of number 10 shadow striker. Not quite strong enough in the centre forward role to take over from Firmino. Out wide he doesn't have too much pace, but he can link well, and he's got serious ability in shooting with both feet. He doesn't have much lift back in terms of kicking the ball true. He's also a big shooter that can score good goals. In the cup, he's a cup player. He gets us through the rounds. Him and Divock Origi gets us through the rounds. But on one occasion against Crystal Palace, he slotted in here in central midfield. He performed very well. He opened the scoring. So, Minamino, full of energy, full of enthusiasm, but physicality. He's worked on it a bit, and it shows this season. Good squad player. Very important. I don't think we're going to see him in midfield too often anymore because of the options available and the strength of the squad. Liverpool's strongest squad ever. Erased. But, Minamino, he's kind of in between the midfield and the forwards. Probably going to be used more in the forward line, more for intricate 1-2s and interplay. His movement is good, his pressing is good, physicality is getting there. We've talked about Ox already. Other midfield players. Curtis Jones, okay, Scouser, lad, Everton, Scorcher, top corner. Curtis Jones, he has Tekers. He's got flair, he's got ability, his touch is good, he retains the ball. One criticism against Curtis Jones is the fact that he holds onto the ball too long, okay? But there's method to the madness, somewhat. If you put Jones into the midfield, nearly always he slots into the left midfield slot. It's because we don't have many natural left footers in the midfield area, and also he can play with both feet, he can hold up the ball, his interplay is quite good as well. If you remember when Gini Wijnaldum was at Liverpool, Gini Wijnaldum, left midfield, he also held up the ball, kept the ball, retained possession, recycled possession. He was a kind of ball carrier, he was safe with the ball, his sturdiness, his ability to hold on to it under pressure. That is what Curtis Jones provides. When he was in the youth squads, he was a creative outlet, twisting and turning, but defenders at this Premier League level are a bit more, a bit more new about them. They shield him, they shuffle him away from the box. He can still shift that yard of space to have a shot. His shot isn't the most powerful, but he has technique on a shot, and that's very important as well. He's a technical player. He is a lesser version of David Silva, Bernardo Silva, that kind of ball player. He's mobile, he moves around, he receives the ball, he recycles the ball, he gives the ball, he lays it off, he distributes, makes himself available again. Solid squad player, good in the midfield. He runs his heart off. He will mature in time. But for now, solid player, good in a rotation. He's useful when you want to retain possession. He's a safe pair of legs to give the ball to. Trustworthy member of the squad. He'll grow into it eventually, but I don't see him as the creative outlet that, let's say, a Harvey Elliott would be. And he doesn't have that shooting or final kind of capacity to deliver that slide rule ball. He's a safe, solid player, well-rounded. He'll grow in time. I believe he's there as a kind of box-to-box ball carrier in a Wijnaldum kind of mould. We also have Ben Woodburn. Ben Woodburn out on loan as well. He's very similar to the kind of Minamino role the kind of Harvey Elliott role. He isn't pacey enough to be a winger, and he's not creative enough or strong enough to be that kind of forward player. We don't play with a number 10 per se, it's more the shadow striker doing that. So he's going to find it hard to carve his way into the Liverpool team. I suspect he will be sold, but a useful cup player, and he's already made an impact, one of the youngest scorers in the cup. He's got good technique as well, but I think it's the lack of physicality or the lack of pace that's holding him back a bit, because technically he's very strong, but in this particular team you have to be outstanding. There are world-class players in every position. You look at every single position here and you have a player who's almost in the top 3 if not top 5 in the world in either their respective position or what they offer to the team. Van Dijk, top of class. Matip as well, very strong, very consistent. Trent, no one like him. Everyone would like a character like Robbo in the team. Fabinho, the lighthouse. He paves the way for the team, opens space up, protects the back line. Alisson Becker, dominant. Thiago, no one has the skill set of Thiago in world football. He is a magician, absolute magician. Technical prowess, maximum. The heart, the leadership. He's English, he's a captain. It's Henderson. Mo Salah, best in the world right now. Bobby Firmino. Which other shadow striker can do what Bobby Firmino does? You have a lot of players who fulfill multiple roles, okay? So Harry Kane is actually doing very well, dropping back into the number 10 position, false striker. He's also got the finishing prowess, very good. Lewandowski drops back a bit, he lost a yard of pace, now he stays more into the kind of penalty box area. Who else can do this kind of pseudo link-up play, harassing, being first in the press? Firmino, very strong in this position. Gary Neville agrees. Gary Neville chose him in the combined Liverpool and United team. Sadio Mane, everyone wants this African warrior in their team. He's got a heart of gold. He always tries, never gives up, never slows down. Always a threat to the last minute. Then you've got players like Jota as well. He is young and he's clinical. You just look at the squad. Naby Keita can slot into any midfield position. Tsimikas, left back. He's almost one of the top 3 left backs in the Premier League and he's a sub. He is guaranteed second in terms of Liverpool prioritisation of left back, but he could get into any squad in the Premier League. Ibu Konate as well. Physicality, he can slot into any centre back position. Harvey Elliott, creative force, amazing potential youth. Milner, experience, a wise head, keep everyone well grounded. Gomez, the pace. Minamino, flexibility, versatility. Never say die attitude, good commitment. Divock Origi, scorer of great goals, not many goals. For a big guy, he's not particularly great in the air or flick-ons or whatnot, but what he can do, he runs the channels, he's a worker as well. He's unexpected. Expect the unexpected with Divock Origi, because you never know what he's going to do. He don't even know what he's going to do, and he'll put it in back of the net, and that's all that counts. Oxlade-Chamberlain, I suspect he will be sold, but everyone loves Ox. In and around the changing room, he's got the banter. He took over from DJ Studgy Studge in the quiz. Reece Williams, I suspect he'll be sold as well, but he's made his part. Similar to Nico Williams and Nat Phillips. They've all played their role in Liverpool. They've contributed well. Nico probably, he could be an understudy to Trent, different type of player, but I suspect he'll want first team football and he will be sold to make room for a backup to Trent. Ben Davies probably won't make it at Liverpool, probably won't even make an appearance. Curtis Jones, he'll be a valuable squad member for a long time to come. He's a Scouser. Luis Diaz, that is the big one. Salah said in contract negotiations, we want Liverpool to show ambition. We want good players to push the front 3. We want good players to attack the opposition. We want rotation options so that no matter who's on the pitch, we offer a different threat and a different route to goal. Luis Diaz, perfect. Mushroom Boy, who's the best? Luis Diaz, that's right. Pichalaga, one for the future. And interesting enough, Pichalaga, Alisson, Brazilian goalkeepers. Tafarel, one of the best Brazilian goalkeepers of all time. He's making an impact. We've got a nice community there. Shea Ojo. My dad loved Ojo. He's like, wow, that Ojo is so good, man. When he first saw him. Ojo is talented, but he's similar to Ibe. He's got a good skill set, but he doesn't quite click together in terms of all his physical attributes and technical skills. He doesn't display it consistently on the pitch. I want to see consistency from him, but likely he'll probably be sold as well. Vandenberg, he's on the uprise, he's performing well, he's consistent, he's doing good in that team. I think we may see him as a backup option in the future. He might even take Gomez's place if Gomez is eventually sold. I hope not. Gomez is good, I rate him. Adrian. It's more for his supportive capabilities, cheerleader capabilities. He works hard, he'll always do the job, happy with his squad plays. He's good in and around the squad, in and around the atmosphere. He won't stay for long, but he's already paid his dues. Super Cup win, he's on the mural, on the wall already. Diogo Jota, Portuguese lad, number 20, better than Figo, don't you know? Woodburn we talked about. Loris Karius, his future's already gone. No one wants to sign him. Too much baggage, too much trouble. Jurgen Klopp, the man who holds it all together. Salah, if he doesn't renew his contract, what can you do? We've enjoyed the best years of Mo Salah. He's still got a good few years to go, but only one person is irreplaceable in this current lineup, and that is Jurgen Klopp. Look at all of the talent available in the squad, the systems, the metrics, the mechanism, how they work together with Pep Linders, with Victor Manas, with all of the backroom staff at Achterberg. Klopp makes everything work together. He is the reincarnation of Shankly. He understands Liverpool, he understands the team spirit, he understands what it means to be a Liverpool manager. You'll never walk alone. He pumps his G's up to the crowd. Everyone can get behind Klopp. Every other team wishes they had Klopp. We wish we had Klopp forever. Hopefully he doesn't need to take a sabbatical. Hopefully he carries on. Understanding from personal life, he's given us a lot of success already. He brought the Premier League to Liverpool after 30 years. Champions League number 6 as well. He probably should have won more trophies if not for the unfortunate dislocated shoulder and the severe kind of meltdown. Moreno, it's alright, he's a happy lad. But Kloppo represents everything that is good about Liverpool, and even if our main man does decide to leave, we will be okay, because even with Salah out of the picture, Mane goes back onto the right, Luis Diaz on the left. I still fancy us to win a game. Firmino might swap for Jota. We might need another offensive player here. But let's say, for example, Salah does leave, okay? You have some capable replacements. The amount of money and the amount of wages you'll save, we have to attract an Mbappe, an Erling Haaland, even a Harry Kane. Change of system would be good. It's got to be someone of that caliber. It's got to be someone of that caliber. But even in the absence of them, if Salah's out, Rafinha, Jarrod Bowen. Okay, not the most exciting in the world, but look at it from Klopp's perspective. It gives you options, it gives you dynamism, it gives you people who are enthusiastic about playing for Liverpool, scoring and making an impact. I'm not going to say that this team wouldn't stack up well against any other team. You put Jota in there as well. This team is strong, with or without Salah. It is very strong, and Klopp will always find a way to make an impact, make it hard to beat, make us hard to beat, and have chances and a threat going forwards. He is the one who decided the brain training group to get in there for penalties for mentality. We did that horse placenta stuff, always on the cutting edge of innovation, finding that extra edge. This Liverpool squad is truly strong, including the players we have out on loan. We just have so many rotation options at the moment that it's literally unreal. If you look at the strikers as well, okay, Luis Diaz, 2-footed, can play either side. He can cut inside. He can go around the outside. He can interplay with Robbo. Okay, they trust him as an outlet. They always trust him one-on-one. They trust him under pressure. Firmino, thankless task. Closes the defensive midfielder. Closes the centre back. Starts to press. Always in dangerous positions. He is always a threat. You put a ball to his feet, he will knit the play together. The wide forwards always play better when Firmino is with them as well. Sadio Mane, an absolute warrior. You put him on the left, you put him on the right, you put him in the middle, you put him anywhere you want, and he will make an impact. He will always be involved. He's full of running. He will square up his man. He will win headers in the air. He'll put himself in dangerous positions. He will always gamble, try and win. You always find him in and around the left midfield slot as well, helping Robbo out. He tracks back. He is a pure soul. He is a good man. He helps Africans as well. Back in Senegal, he creates hospitals, he creates charities, his foundation is excellent, he does a lot of good work. So does Salah, by the way, and many other players. Henderson leading by example. But Mane is the one that started the transition to be a very successful team, and he is a Liverpool legend, and he is up there with John Barnes, okay? Barnes, great. When I started watching, Barnes was, hitting his pomp, and he was in midfield, not the flashy winger that we're used to, but Mane is right up there. I would put Mane on top just because he was transformative and his goal contribution consistent. Forget the exploits of Salah, because Salah, obviously, he's breaking every stat and every record, and I love Salah, but Mane is also very consistent in the metrics and the goal scoring metric, and so got me a lot of love for Mane. Jota, Portuguese, dazzling feet, always creates a yard of space. Out of these guys, Jota is the only one who consistently uses both feet very, very well to create that opening. Mane actually likes to shift it onto his left to power it, or shift it onto his right to curl it, but Jota has all the types of shots, so very useful in that regard. Divock Origi, cult hero. Yeah, he's going to go, but we thank him for it. Probably going to go for a free contractual situation. Apparently it can be extended if he starts a certain amount of games, but he probably won't do the season. First choice, Jota, Diaz, if not Salah, Firmino and Mane. So clearly you've got Origi and Minamino as the kind of backup to the backups. Well, that about does it for our roundup of deep analysis on Liverpool Squad Ever. I think it is a truly outstanding squad. Klopp deserves a lot of credit for what he has built in the last few years, considering Man City's budget and considering net spend, considering the pandemic, all situations. FSG expanding the stands in the stadium. Considering the budget he's got and the players he's working with, that squad, for me, in my lifetime, is the strongest Liverpool squad in history. I just hope they can win all the silverware that their talent and their hard work deserves. Hopefully starting with the quadruple this year. Quadruple. I would be happy with just the triple. Any triple. But Premier League and Champions League. I actually prefer the Champions League more than Premier League because we are the champions. That was cringe. Okay, yeah, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please like this video and subscribe, it really helps the channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on how Liverpool are going to make their success inevitable. Follow this man. Our squad is very strong. Not many tactical deviations week to week, except from the press. Sometimes they change to a 4-4-2, but if worse comes to worse, emergency tactics. When you need a hero, Robbo's fallen down. Four. We need one more. Who's the best finisher? Who is the best finisher at the club? Who is the best finisher? It's Diogo Jota, isn't it? It's either Jota or Salah. I trust Jota. Finish. Penalty box poacher. So, what we have here is the emergency Sam Allardyce tactics in the last 10 minutes of the game. Fabinho, we need a ball winner. Fabinho, holding things at the back. You'll notice Keller here, and I'll explain it for a good reason. Thiago, he can pick the pass to Robbo or Trent. Okay, we're playing a 2-2-6 formation. You'll notice with these guys, they are heading maestros, okay? They are massive and they can head the ball, except from this lad here. He's the finisher. All he has to do is roam around the penalty area. These guys need to cross it in or boot it in. One of these guys will head it, it'll cause mayhem, it'll drop anywhere. He can finish. He can finish. These guys can flick it on, in and around the box. Jota will slot it away. When it's in, everyone back defending. Goal. Old school heading tactics. Threat on the left, threat on the right. Whip it in, whip it in. We need a ball winner. He might foul them, be dirty, but he can whip it out there or whip it through to Jota. We'll see. Alisson's there, which means Kelleher goes in goal. If we manage to score a goal with his dirty formation, then we put everyone back. And then we resort to this shell formation. Backs against the wall, siege mentality. Hold on till the end. The end. You'll never walk alone. And to secure Liverpool's future for the long term, there's only one signing Liverpool need to make. It's expensive, but if they sign Eto Chacho, number 8, Liverpool will win everything. Absolutely everything. Thank you all. See you later.